guys, this is Stephanie and I'm Stacks on Stacks on Stacks. Today I'm here with my friend Beth Anne. And she has read 3 more books off my TBR. She is helping me narrow things down on my TBR, which is really helpful because I'm not good at reading those books. So I gave her 3 more books to read. So she's going to do a quick, what this book's about, a quick review of her opinion, and then she's going to tell me after the 3 which ones she thinks I should read. And then I have another stack for her to conquer. So let's get going.
All right, the first one is The Pearl Thief by Elizabeth Wynn.
I think Wynn.
Okay. So this is basically about a girl. I don't remember her name. Her name is Julia. And she basically goes home for the summer. Her grandfather recently passed away, and he has this big estate in, Scotland. And it basically is her family goes to help her grandmother pack up because they sold sold the estate and all the grounds to this private school. So they're re-renovating it. There's lots of construction and things like that. Well, while she's there, when she comes home a little early before all her family knows, and she gets hit. She goes traipsing around, and she's by this river, and she sees something unusual, but she can't remember what it is because she gets hit over the head by something or someone. And she doesn't know who. The next thing she remembers, she wakes up in the hospital. She'd been out for a couple days or something like that and doesn't remember a whole lot.
Is she a teenager?
Yes.
Okay.
And so then it's kind of basically her trying to kind of remember what she saw at the riverbed because there's this river that goes through her grandfather's thing, and people would trespass because they could find freshwater pearls that could be worth things and money, and he would always, when she growing up, he would chase people off, being like, "You vermin, get off! That's you're traipsing my blood." But Scottish, yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's in Scotland. It's basically her trying to figure out who did that to her and why, and also there's these pearls that her grandfather collected and stuff, and they kind of go missing. These people are documenting this collection of his, and it has stuff from Mary Queen of Scots in there and other things, but something goes missing. Some pearls from the collection go missing, so it's about that too. So it's a mystery, but I personally gave this a 2 because it was kind of lackluster for me. For being a mystery, it just felt like it kind of got away from the mystery, and then by the end of the book it was like, oh, here, we solved it. And there wasn't enough clues for you to kind of help piece it together enough, at least for me. I don't know. And I felt like it just kind of veered off into, I learned a lot of some cool facts about, Scottish things and stuff that happened in history in Scotland, which is cool. But other than that, and the main character, she was okay, but there's this weird kind of love triangle that I just didn't really understand. She was trying to figure out if she liked this boy, but then she's like, but I kind of like this girl, and I don't know if I'm like the girl more or the boy, and that's all fine and dandy, she's a teenager figuring things out, but I just felt like it started to shift more focus to that when it's supposed to be kind of a mystery, and I don't know, I just thought it was kind of meh.
Alright.
So
Alright.
the next one is A Study in Scarlet by Sherry Thomas.
Scarlet Women.
Oh, excuse me. To Study in Scarlet Women. So this was good. I think I gave this a 3 or a 4. It's basically a twist on the Sherlock Holmes storyline. So instead of Sherlock Holmes being a boy, it is a girl. And instead of having a Watson, well, she has a Lady Watson. And
Sherlock Holmes isn't in this series.
No.
Oh.
No.
I didn't know that.
She, Charlotte is her name. Yes. Charlotte. Her alias goes by Sherlock Holmes because obviously in the time and era she is in, ladies, they don't have a lot of say in public, and, they just are supposed to marry and have babies and blah, blah, blah. Especially if you're in the elite class where she is from, her father and mother expect her to marry well off and have kids, and Yada yada. Well, Charlotte, she's not the conventional woman, like wanting to marry and all this stuff. But, so she basically, it's kind of, this is the first book in a series, and so it kind of sets up the world, it kind of sets up Charlotte and who she is, and there's mystery behind it. And it kind of sets up all the characters. Like, we meet Charlotte, and we figure out she's kind of like this Sherlock Holmes, and we see her, like, get that idea, like, how she gets the idea to go by Sherlock Holmes and start solving mysteries. And she ends up getting kicked out of, I will say this, spoiler alert, just a little bit of spoiler alert, this book starts off with a bang, because she basically has sex with a man that's married, and she gets caught, and you're like, whoa, where is this going, and why is she, if she's like a Sherlock Holmes-esque type person, that's kind of the stupidest move you can make, like, but then it kind of is revealed in itself. You'll figure it out. I won't spoil anymore, but you figure out why she does that, because there's a reason, and then you're like, okay, it's clever, but it's still,
She, like, direct, like Sherlock Holmes is, like, oh, I knew this the whole time and you're an idiot, like Sherlock Holmes is? Or is she nicer than that?
She's nicer than that. She has a much nicer, like, quality to her. She's not, like, totally like, you're stupid, you're an idiot, which is kind of nice. She's just like, oh, yeah, like, she, like, really relies on people around her, too. Like, she's very smart and very bright, but she also relies on the people in her life, which is nice. So, it is kind of dark. There is kind of, just so you know, the mystery is dark in it. It's more adult, and I will say, like, there could be some trigger warning for some people, just so you know, like, towards the end of the book. I won't reveal it because it'll ruin everything. But it's pretty dark and deep, and can be a little triggering if that kind of stuff kind of triggers you. So,
what did you rate that one?
I think it was a 3 or a 4. It does take you a little bit to get into. It's kind of a slow start, but, like, I feel if you give it a little bit, then it kind of starts to pick up. Especially, like, because at the beginning, it's like, as I said, it's kind of setting up the backstory of, like, why she slept with this guy, and why, like, it's important that you know that. And then once you kind of figure that out, and it establishes where she's at, then it kind of picks up from there, and it's really intriguing. And I would love to read the other books in this series.
It's an ongoing series. I think the next one comes out in just a few months, like the fifth.
Yeah, I think there's 4 other ones besides.
I own like 3 of them.
So, it was good. It was fun. It was a lot darker than I thought it was going to be, but it was good. Like, I enjoyed it. Overall, I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed how they set up the world, and how they set up a female Sherlock Holmes.
Awesome. Third.
The third and final one that I read is The Kiss of Deception by Mary Pearson.
Mary E. Pearson.
Yes, Mary E. Pearson. I will have to say I devoured this book in literally like a day and a half, I think. Like 2 days max. I started this while I was like, I think I started over Christmas vacation. I started it towards the end of Christmas vacation. And then I may or may not have been a very bad adult and stayed up too late to finish said book when I should have gone to bed because I had lack of sleep for work the next day. But it was fine. It was so worth it.
And then she went out and bought the next 2 in the series. So.
I did, because I enjoyed it that much. So this is about a girl, a princess, Leah. And she basically escapes. So she's supposed to get married to this prince. And Leah doesn't like that. She doesn't want to get married. She doesn't want to be told what to do. And she doesn't want to get married to a total stranger. So she flees with her friend to a village and flees from this prince. Well, unbeknownst to Leah, the prince goes after her to find her, this jilted prince. But also, somebody sends an assassin after her as well. The fun part of this book is about, I would say, a good maybe half of the book, you don't know who is who. You get introduced to the prince and the assassin, but you don't know who is who. The point of view is three points of view. It's Leah's, it's Assassin's, and it's the prince's. The beginning of the book, all you get for the title is either prince or assassin. Like, it doesn't tell you their name. It doesn't give you any clues to, like, which one it is. The only way you find out the two characters' names and stuff is through Leah's perspective, because she meets both of them. But she doesn't know who either of them is either. And again, even in Leah's perspective, you figure out their names, but you still don't know
which is which.
Who is who.
Okay.
Like, you can make your speculations, and trust me, I made my speculations, and I was totally wrong. But, and then I was like, well, no. Because you do eventually find out who is who, because obviously, to further the plot, you kind of have to figure it out. But it kind of becomes like kind of a little bit of a love triangle, because she starts to like both of the men and stuff, and then things happen, and yeah, and there's lots of action and packed and love interests, and you're rooting for one of the characters. I personally am rooting for the prince. But I will say that I do like the assassin too, like, which is weird, right? You're like, why would you like the person who's trying to go and kill the princess? Well, you know, the beginning of the book, this author, Mary, she does a really good job of, like, getting you to like all of the characters, especially the two boys, when you don't know what's going on and who is who. And so you invest in both of them, because you're like, oh, they're both upstanding guys. They're great. I mean, I know one's an assassin, but they're pretty great. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's a quick read. It's got love, it's got adventure, it's got some death in there, it's got intrigue, it has all sorts of things, and the end of the book is quite the cliffhanger. So that's another reason why I was like, well, now I gotta read the other ones, because I don't like where it ended, because, yeah, so. This one, I gave this, I'm pretty sure, a 4 or a 5. I'm pretty sure I gave it a 5, because I just devoured it.
Yes.
So
of the 3, the one that you want me to read
is Kiss of Deception. I told her that she could probably do a study in Scarlet Woman too, because I did really enjoy that one. But if you just want something that maybe piques your interest a little bit more and is more of a faster pace right away,
I do like faster pace.
Kiss of Deception is probably the way to go, because this one is good, but as I said, you have to trudge a little bit to get to the part where it starts to pick up. But this one, I feel like it just picks up quite quickly.
So I'll be reading that one soonish. Probably next month, to be honest.
I want her to, so then we can buddy read the other ones, because I've been waiting.
We do lots of buddy reads together, actually. Lots of them. Okay, so I had a hard time narrowing it down, so I picked 5 books. Woo! Now, Beth Anne's a teacher, so she has the summer to read, which is good news. She said she wanted something with mystery, maybe a little bit of historical fiction. She was a little iffy on fantasy, so I only put 1 fantasy in here. And then I just thought The Good Girls sounded good. This one is by Claire Eliza Bartlett, The Good Girls. And this is, I want to say it's like The Breakfast Club meets like a murder mystery kind of thing. I think it was also likened to One of Us is Lying, which I haven't read yet, but I've seen The Breakfast Club many times.
Love that movie.
Right? So it's kind of, everybody has their like label, like the cheerleader, the valedictorian, the notorious partier, so on, and then a murder happens.
Woo!
And they're all at the top of the list. So that one sounds good. It's YA, and it'll probably be a quick read, I imagine. This one is my fantasy. A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridge Kemmerer. Kemmerer? Say that right.
Aww.
This one is a series. I think it's a trilogy, and I think the first 2 are out. I don't know if the third one's out or not.
She likes to do this to me, because then obviously I just have to buy more books.
I know, and I get, $1 for every book you buy. I wish that I'd buy more books, to be honest. This is like a modern day Beauty and the Beast retelling.
Ooh.
Yes, I thought you would like this. So
yes.
I was like, and I started it actually as a buddy read, and then we didn't finish it. And so I will read it someday. But the girl is about 18, I think, and she has, I want to say, cerebral palsy. She has cerebral palsy. And she's like in our modern day, and she gets sucked through a vortex hole that takes her back to this world where the Beast lives. And she has to become the beauty for the Beast. So it's like Beauty and the Beast with a modern and magical twist, I think. That one I think you like. Okay, so the only thriller that is on my shelf is Tell No One, and it's by Harlan Coben, and I have no idea what this is about. but it's supposed to be a thriller by Harlan Coben. I've been told that he does thrillers well, that they are never gory, but they're always good plot and good characters, and most of them are standalones. So I got this from the book sale a couple of years ago.
Oh, the library book sale?
Yes, which is coming up in just a few short months. Very excited. Okay, so this one is The Many Lives of John Stone by Linda Buckley Archer. This one I have had a long time. This one is about a girl who I think she's like a nanny for this guy, I want to say, or she's working for him in England.
Oh, yeah, you told me about this one.
I think I suggested to a book club once. And she sees like a picture of this guy, but it's a picture from like 100 years ago or something like that. And it's not like a relative, it is him. And then she notices more and more, this guy has been around a long time, he's lived a lot of lives and stuff like that. It's supposed to be pretty good. I've only heard about it from like one booktuber like 5 years ago.
So
but we will see if it's good or if it's crap. She can DNF any of these that she wants to. The last one, and I do think you'll like it, is A Dress for the Wicked by Autumn Krause. And I believe, I got this in a book box, but I believe it is a standalone. It is a girl who I think is very, very poor, and then she somehow gets like a scholarship to go to a French like design school to learn to design dresses. And like a finishing school as well, something along those lines. And then she's kind of learning the ins and outs of the world and learns that there are a lot more maybe outs than ins. And people aren't always nice and things like that. So, yeah, she... oh, and then there's a murder in there too. She has to help solve the murder and, you know, come out on top of her class and all that kind of fun stuff like that. So, I think you'll have your hands full for a while.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like she doesn't have a bag of books at her house that I already loaned her.
Yep.
Because it's friends loan friends books that they'll like.
Yep. And I just am slowly chipping away at them.
She is. She's a faster reader than me, for sure. For sure, for sure. So, she's going to read these and then come back with one that I should read. I do hear bits and pieces of things as she's reading them.
Especially if they're total...
Yes, if they're total crap, I usually hear about that as
it's like,
well.
what is this?
I don't blame her either. I would be like, you made me read this crap.
And I'm one of those people, I really don't DNF very often. I feel like I'm a, like, hopeless cause kind of person.
She always has hope. It's going to get better.
I always have hope, and then I end up reading the whole thing, and I was like, that was like the poorest decision of my life. I should have just moved on. I should have just DNF'd that thing like a while ago.
This year, I've started DNFing. I haven't DNF'd up until now. Not often. And this year, I've had a few that I've been like, you know what, I'm just not going to read it. It could be a great book, but I don't know if it's not for now or not ever, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, and I did read Sky in the Deep, which was your last recommendation. I gave it 5 stars. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Good. And when we read a couple other ones of hers.
But yeah, by Adrienne Young.
Yeah.
Yes, we read the Fable series. Loved that too. Got our book club to read even.
Yeah. We were sneaky.
We're very sneaky.
And we got them to read both of them.
I know, we're so sneaky.
And actually, one of our book club members, she read the other one, the
Girl the Sea Gave Back. I haven't read that one yet.
Which is also, it's like in the realm of Sky in the Deep. It's in that
that world. I don't.
And I think it references some of the characters. Oh, good. I think from Sky in the Deep, but they're not in it. They're just like talked about or referenced.
I need to read that one too because I think I like Adrienne Young.
Yeah, I have that one, so I need to
I like
put it back.
So okay, clearly I have no other books to read.
Clearly
none. I'm searching
and it's not
for
like
more.
we keep getting more.
Not yet, but the book sales are around the corner. So that'll happen.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. I think that is it. So if you've heard of any of these books, whether they're ones that I'm suggesting or whether they're the ones that Beth Anne just read, by all means, let us know down below your thoughts on any of these books. If they're great, if they're crap, or if you're like, I've been meaning to read that too, by all means, let me know down below. Feel free to like, subscribe, comment, share, whatever makes you happy. You go ahead and you do that. But whatever you do, make sure you have a great day, okay? Bye, guys!